What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. You can call me Captain James Holden. Welcome to Whoop Wednesday. Hi. We're gonna be seeing if we can seeing if a proper stiff frame will fix the issues that we had with the no solder tiny lifter. I don't think that there's such a thing as a no solder tiny lifter. I think you have to, at the very least, solder on a different connector. The PH 2.0 connector that the newbie drone comes with is okay, and there are these little batteries that that have the PH 2.0 connector and R2S, but well, you know what? No, I mean, you could just rubber band them to the bottom of this frame. I don't like that solution. There's a better solution for this frame that I prefer. But technically speaking, you could still do this build as a no solder, and then you would just need to rubber band the little 2S batteries onto the bottom of the Cockroach 75 frame. That is assuming that this frame fixes the problems that we were having on this rig. So we're going to get into the new frame. I'm going to solder on a 2S double PH 2.0 connector to this build. And yeah, put it in this frame, see if the problems go away. If the problems do go away, then we'll talk about the potential solutions. Down below in the description, I have affiliate links to everything that we put into this build, as well as Newbie Drone's 2S 300 mAh GNB 27 connectored battery, which, again, you could totally just rubber band to the bottom of this frame. We'll talk about some of the other battery options. I really like these double connectors. I have, on the other tiny lifters, I have these guys in BT 2.0. I don't have an extra one, though, so we're going to do this PH 2.0 one. I really like these guys because then you can just run your existing Tiny Whoop batteries. You can have a 1S, indoor screwing around Tiny Whoop that you run on the individual 1S batteries, and then for your tiny lifter, you just double them up, and you plug each one in, and off to the races you go. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be doing here tonight. This is also a Q&A stream, so fill up the chat with any questions that you guys have. Like I said a minute ago, no, I didn't. This is my full-time job. If you'd like to support me on this crazy adventure and see more live streams like this, head on over to CiottiFPV.com. The very first link is to Patreon. That helps me out the most. You can join that for $3 a month. That's 10 cents a day. If you want to get in on the giveaways that I do every other Monday, jump onto the $5, $10, or $20 tier, depending on what kind of rigs you fly. A bunch of affiliate links over there on the website. That's free money. If you're ever doing an order on Amazon, FPV Crate, FPV Cycle, a bunch of other sites, hit the affiliate link before you check it out if you don't mind. Etsy store, Fiverr page, Teespring store, lots of good stuff going on. Support the people that create the content that you like to watch. In the chat, if you'd like to talk directly to me, all you got to do is type CiottiFPV. It'll light up in orange like this, and I'll know you're talking to me. Robert Garcelone was first. Grizz FPV was next. Tagged me and said, "What's up, collective?" Dan636 was next. Wow, keystrokes are down already. Thanks, OBS. Dan636, Northern Tier, Michael D, North 49, CMYK, Ram Donko, FPV Trucker, Dead Chicken, Michael Blade, Metal Dirtskin. If you want the gangly man to read your name, gotta get in early, gotta say something. CMYK says, "Happy Wednesday." FPV Trucker says, "What's up?" Ram Donko says, "Thursday." ZZ, Thursday is Thursday here. Jesus. Michael Blade says, "Hey buddy." Metal Dirtskin says, "Almost thought the stream wasn't happening, never saw any notifications here." Oh, I forgot to do that. I forgot to send out any notifications for this live stream. That's weird. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter stream though, because we're just going to fix this issue, and Patrick is coming to hang out, so this won't be a super long stream. Michael D says, "Should we start a Ciotti would like a PS5 fund?" Nah, if we're going to do a fund, there's lots of other things that we should be that I should be spending my money on. PS5 is not one of them, and Gran Turismo 7 is going to be on PS4, so it'll be totally fine. I am going to get GT7 this Friday, maybe not this Friday, but I'm going to get it for sure. Veritas Weasel has a stiff frame as well. Kevin Otto says, "I think one of my ESCs went out on my Mobula 6 ELRS. I'm having trouble finding the new AIO in stock. Is there another one you would suggest?" Not really. The Mobula 6 ELRS is really kind of the answer. There is the Newbie Drone V3, which is great, but the problem is they use a different motor plug. So you'll have to direct solder your motors or buy a set of their motor connector leads and then solder them directly on to your motors. Either way, it's infinitely small soldering. It's kind of difficult. If you direct solder the motors, it's kind of a pain forever because the motors are stuck to the AIO. If you break a motor, it's just super annoying direct soldering the motors. So yeah, the ELRS Happy Model AIOs, I have not seen either. Chat, has anybody seen those AIOs in stock anywhere? I haven't even seen them for sale, let alone in stock, out of stock. I mean, the quad is so cheap, it's almost worth it to just buy the entire rig to get the AIO, and then you'll get an extra set of motors, an extra canopy, an extra camera. But then you're going to feel like you need to have 2 rigs up. And then you got to buy a 3rd one for spare parts. Ramdango says, I got spare BT 2.0 male connectors from the Craft. Spare, can I post to a UK Discorder? They're new, duals. Male connectors. From the Craft? What's the Craft, Ram? What's up, B-Man? How are you? Yeah, there is a Happy Model Diamond ELRS coming. Angry Don was complaining about something with it earlier today. I don't know. I'm totally happy with the AIO that's in the Mobula 6. I really wish that I could just snag an extra one of those, but yeah, I don't know. The Diamond will be interesting. I would love to get my hands on the Diamond AIO with ELRS built in. We'll see. We'll see if it's available separately or if it's only going to be in a rig. If it is available separately, it'll probably be only available on Banggood for a while, which is kind of annoying. But I do have an affiliate link there, so if you're doing a Banggood order, hit my affiliate link. If you don't mind. Dan636 says, have you flown any of the FPV cycle motors? I got a set of the 23mm motors on my American Apex and it blew my mind. Yeah, I have flown the 2303s a bunch. And I guess that's it. I am going to get a set of the 25mm motors for the... hey, check this out, Expanse fans. So the red beater, regular old 5-inch freestyle glide is going to be the Rocinante. I'm just waiting on a couple more quick things to get that back up and running. So that's going to be a bunch of silver and some red and then blue in the rear. The high-speed rig, I've decided, is going to be the Razorback. So these are Brother Hobby 2507s, which are super fragile. I'm going to replace these with the Razorback, if you don't watch The Expanse, which you should be on Prime. Best sci-fi show ever. The Razorback is white and red. So I'm going to replace these motors with the FPV Cycle white Imperial 2507s. And then I'm going to get some white electric tape to wrap up the arms here. And I kind of think that's all the white that I'll be able to do. And then I've got the red 40-degree up-tilt mount, and I'll just do, like, you know, probably the same prop setup, dark in the front, red in the back. And yeah, this rig will be known as the Razorback. That's fun, isn't it? Ramdago says, pack of male BT 2.0s I over-ordered. Over-ordered. Got it. Male, isn't male on the battery side? I don't know what one would use those for. I hate the idea of swapping battery leads over. I really try not to. Kevin Otto says, thank you, you're certainly welcome. And cool, looks like I'm sort of caught up on chat already. Mainly because I didn't let anybody know that I was streaming tonight by sending the notifications that I always do. Sorry about that, fellas. I did, hey, go watch the football edit if you haven't. All right, let's get to Vork. Oh, man. OBS, you're killing me with the keystrokes randomly not working. All right, so we're going to tear this down. I'm going to swap... Oh, God, I have to pull it all the way down, huh? Yeah, I got to pull this thing all the way down because I got to pull the motors off the frame. So we're going to take all the screws out of this. I was going to do this before the stream, but I got all hell-bent on... Hey, here's a question. who sent me Stan FPV ducts? Like 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, somebody sent me a set of very special Stan FPV ducts. These ones. Somebody sent these to me, and they've got these brass inserts very professionally pushed into them. Okay? The set of these Stan FPV ducts that I bought from the website did not have these brass collars in them, and they come with these big long M2 screws, and you got to thread them all the way up into the duct, and then when you crash, it rips it out because it's just plastic threading. So I asked Stan about this. I said, hey, do your current ducts have the brass fittings in there, or do your current ducts have the plastic threads? And he said that he's never done this. He said that he's never put these brass inserts in. Oh, you put them in. Oh, Matt. Okay, cool. All right. How did you do it, Matt? These are like beautifully put in here. I spent the last like 2 hours trying to put these brass inserts into the set of these that don't have them, and Jesus Christ, did I make a mess of it. I'm gonna have to order another set of these ducts to do this. Look how good of a job Matt did. I looked up on YouTube how to put these brass inserts in, and there is like a soldering iron tip that you can get. But my God, yeah, like Matt got these in here perfectly flat, and like there's no the big problem that I'm having is the plastic oozes up and out, and then you can't get the damn things flat. And it just looks, it's just man, I just did a horrible job. I basically ruined 2 of these trying to get it going. Hold on. Patrick is on his way. Let me unlock the door. I totally forgot. All right. Yeah, Matt, these brass, use regular, oh, you drilled it out. Okay. That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. I was looking at that. I was looking at maybe drilling them out, because basically they're not set up for these brass inserts, so there's too much plastic. So when you push the brass insert down in there, all kinds of plastic comes up and out. Okay, so you drilled it out a little bit, and then that'll let the insert sit down in there, and then I guess you just took the tip of your soldering iron and pushed it down, and then it mooshed in there. The other problem I was having without drilling it out is all that extra material was trying to go up into the hole. Yeah, it's drill can bury itself really fast. Yeah. Yeah, I can totally see that. All right. Yeah, it's really important to get these brass inserts here, in here. I'm gonna try to talk Stan into doing it. Because, yeah, it's just no good. It's just no good having these threading into this plastic. Like, the first time you crash it, it just rips it right out. It's just not good. Best, CMYK says, best use for a Foxeer Toothless 2 Nano Starlight. Oh, man, I love that camera. That camera is on a whole bunch of my rigs. Best use, shit, I don't know. For me, if you're gonna have an analog rig, it should have that camera in it. So yeah, that's the best use for it. Any and all analog rigs is my answer to that question. CMYK. All right, let's continue. I just wanted to get that duct discussion out in the air, out in the universe. Okay. Hold on. While I'm thinking about it, let me mini drill press with a Dremel. Ugh, that's gross. I'm just gonna do it really carefully with a drill bit. Hold on. Let me super quick just send Stan a message and let him know. Because I was like, yo, you must have done this. So if he reads that, he's going to be like, what the hell? Drilled them out a bit and then used a soldering iron. I would pay extra for these if you could get the inserts into them, since I just ruined 2 sets trying to get them. No, not 2 sets. 2 ducts. All right, cool. And let me move the chat over. There we go. Okay, good to go. All right, so yeah, I don't know if I ruined these two. They look super ugly, and the insert's not sitting flat, but it's probably not ruined. I will. Yeah, I will revisit that. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. Drill them out a little bit and see if that makes the installation go a little bit better. Where it just says, can you imagine having Jesus! PP sticks? What the hell are PP sticks? Yo! JR says, what's up, guys? Glad you're streaming, bro. Need something to take my mind off the craziness going around in the world. Yeah, it is a little nuts. Alright, so let's get these motors off of here. We'll get them into the new frame. I'm going to solder on that double PH 2.0 connector, and then that'll pretty much be it. It's probably going to take us for like about an hour. Take us to about 9, and yeah, I'll jump off, and hopefully this tiny lifter build will be good to go. What up, homie?
What up, my man?
What did you bring? Look at that box of stuff.
My wrist weight still doesn't like life.
Patrick says his ripsqueak still doesn't like life.
VTX, man.
VTX is angry. You wouldn't like his VTX when it's angry.
Using your wall of ice, that's all there is.
Oh, really?
It's not been expecting me.
Nope. Are the ice cube trays even in there?
No.
Oh.
It's
Where
a
the hell
trap.
they go? It's a trap. What's PP stick ends, Richard? I don't know what that means. Like stick ends that are the shape of a wee wee? Is that what you're saying?
That's the Death Star in my whiskey.
What?
The Death Star in my whiskey.
It's appropriate. Okay, so let's get these screws out of here. So in talking more about why this build in this Mobula 7 V3 frame doesn't work, because so this V3 Mobula 7 frame here, it does work. Like, you know, Mobula built a rig with this frame and it flew. But that rig is at about 20 to 30 grams, a little bit heavier than that, 30 to 40 grams all up weight, right? So when you're cruising around, your throttle value is going to be pretty low because it's nice and lightweight. Well, these tiny lifters are a whole different beast in that they're 60, 70, 80 grams all up. So the cruising throttle is going to be much higher. And I think that's where the problems start, because by having a higher cruising throttle, we're asking this frame to do something that it just wasn't designed for. And I think what's going on, and we're going to kind of confirm this tonight by putting this into a different frame. What I think is going on is that at the higher RPM, and a higher frequency vibration that this thing needs to cruise at with the Insta360 Go on it. This frame combined with that harmonic, that frequency, are just, they're just not happy together. So that's kind of my take on it. Does that make sense? Do you guys follow that? I know I'm kind of in the weeds with that description, but everybody say hi to Patrick or I'll kill you in your sleep.
Hello. You know, is anybody... Where's the camera?
You gotta sneak over here.
Where is it? Is it over there?
It's kind of cut off.
Over here?
Just move towards me.
Well, audio works, right?
Yeah, audio works.
You know, electric cars. You know what electric cars are? Electric cars are quads. Like,
There you go.
it's a car with a light bulb.
Left.
That's what it is. It's a car with a light bulb. You put a light bulb on a car, and that's what an electric car is. That's all I have to say about that.
Did you get here in 3
It
minutes?
drove me here. It was completely unnerving. It was terrible. The automatic pilot on the Tesla is stupid. It drove me here. I didn't trust any of it. I closed my eyes at one point, about freaked out. And I turned that shit off. And you know why? Because it just so happens that I like to drive. Especially that thing, man.
Lies.
Especially that thing. That's all I have to say. Continue your stream. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Anybody else on the electric car train in chat?
It seriously is like a light bulb. You push the freaking throttle. I've got
There
the
is an
performance
immediacy
model, but
that
you
I
drove it.
Yeah.
You drove it.
The immediacy is
He laughed like a
something
child.
else. Something else entirely.
It's the immediate torque, and the only people that really and truly understand it, I think, is people
Is
who
us.
fly these things.
Yep.
It's just it's now, and you know when the first time you got good enough to where it would define physics, you know when you realize that you could do things that nothing else can do.
Only in the Expanse these things happen. The Expanse and in Teslas.
Jeez, look at that freaking angle you got on that monster.
I know, right? That's gonna become. Well, you won't get it because you don't watch the show yet. But there's a fast ship in the Expanse that I'm naming that after, and I'm gonna get the Bob's 25 mil motors for it because it's this ship in the movie is white and red, so I'm gonna try to put as much. What else can I put on there that's white? Nothing, right? I'm gonna put. You know what I am putting on there is the Cineglide.
You put some steel motors on here.
Well, I'm getting Bob's Imperials.
Okay, well,
the 25s.
Oh, so anything else? What about the Starlight camera? Isn't it white? Isn't there a white version of the?
Oh, I can do the Cadix Polar on there. That's a rig that's gonna go DJI.
He did say that. You heard that shit.
Sure.
Let's say it one more time. It's gonna go DJI.
It's gonna be cool to see where I'm going. I'll be able to see where I'm going. It'll be great.
Oh.
At 100 miles an hour, you got to be able to see where you're going. Isn't there a
Yeah, it's true.
a white Cadix Polar?
I think I've seen white cameras for sure. White cameras for sure. What about antennas? There's got to be probably a left-hand polarized DJI white antenna.
Oh.
Aren't they all white when they're left-handed?
Oh.
Like the pagodas are all white. I know that.
Yeah, it's true. Lenny doesn't like video games. He's into FPV. I'm with you, Lenny. Me and you. It's gonna be a fucking Gran Turismo 7 festival this weekend, though. Yeah.
I like those Avengers.
What Avengers? I know, right? They're very fragile, though.
Yeah,
I've very fragile.
I've got a wobbly Avenger as well.
That same size.
I think it's a 29,407,000. 25. I think I don't know. It's an obtuse number.
Ramdongo says, "What are the brakes for?" I assume in reference to electric cars.
Oh yeah.
Ramdongo says Luma board. I don't know what that means. Ram. Grizz says there is a white Polar. Awesome. B-Man says Cadix cams have been white or black these days. CMYK says, do you see a future where electric autonomous cars actually put a track in every city, town, country for combustion engines? I was with you until you said for combustion engines. What do you mean?
Ice cars. Did
Wham
you hear
FPV
Ford just freaking
I just saw
changed
that,
their
the
divisions?
Gigaplant.
Yeah.
FPV Trucker says there's a white Nebula Pro. Wham FPV says good evening everyone else as well. CMYK, try one more time. You lost me at the end of that. Okay, so this is the frame that we're putting it into. We're gonna switch over the Wallace Grommets and Mr. Middies, like that one. Oh wait, no, hold on. I'm gonna change the battery lead on this though. So let's get that taken care of. So
Maybe because you race ice cars and you don't race electric cars. I don't know.
Is that the deal?
I don't know. Well, if you drive an electric car, you don't race because that would imply competition.
We can't have that.
Yeah,
That's not allowed.
Unless you're in like a vet or a Ferrari. Or something.
That's not allowed. Alright, so let me just move a bunch of this shit out of the way so I can get access to these little flip-flops here.
You could always do the white 3D print for the cam.
Yeah, the ship has a bunch of red on it though. So I don't. So I guess I could do like these guys, that guy. Yeah. Although these are all BMC 3D thing. Oh, I could just order from them. That's true. Okay. So I'm just gonna use the helping hands to kind of like brace them. I guess I'll use them to pinch it. I'm always worried about using the little alligator clips on these helping hands because I don't want them to knock any components off. Ramdago says, white AIOs, it's big Luma or tech. Oh, gotcha, Ram. Lumineer, I have not had a good experience with Lumineer stuff. I really stay away from their electronics. Their antennas are great because they're made by True RC.
You know who makes their batteries?
Say again?
You know who makes their batteries?
I don't, but I haven't had good luck with those either.
I had bad luck with the batteries. Seneca's had bad luck with the batteries.
Yeah.
Cell droppage. Mid-flight type thing.
Red is on the, somebody type in chat, red inside. So I don't forget which is which on this AIO. Whoops. Come on. Oh wait, here, I am actually doing something that you guys might want to see at this point. Alright, so we got that in there. So it's red on the inside, black on the outside. Now we're going to put on this double PH 2.0 connector here. There we go. All right. One of the things I really do like about this, the V3 Newbie drone board, is they move these battery lead plugs to the outside. They're not through holes anymore, which is really nice. It really makes them a lot easier to deal with.
Red inside.
Red inside. Thank you, sir. All right, here we go. Swapping this over. And so we're doing the ground first, which is going to take a little bit extra time. Just be patient, and there we go. And now we're going to do voltage. I like to make sure I push these up against the board so that the insulation is butted right up against the PCB. Makes it a little bit stronger. That looks pretty good, but there's an awful lot of solder on the ground pad. Let me try to remove some of that. My preferred way of removing solder is to use solder wick like this. And you're just going to put a little flux wherever you're going to be. And you're just going to push this solder wick up against the spot where you need to remove solder, and it's just going to wick it away. It's really magical stuff. So we'll push it up against there. And you'll just see the wick fill up with solder. There we go. All right. So that I didn't need to remove a lot, just a little bit. Okay. So back in.
I mean, he was trained by NASA.
Yes. Not me. Someone I know
Vicariously.
well. Someone I know well. Okay. Here we go. Thank you, chat. Let's get a little bit more flux on this ground pad here, and then we'll get it just right on there. Tip of the soldering iron is clean. I'm actually going to add a little tiny bit of fresh solder here off camera. And then, there we go. That's the stuff. Now, yep, that's good to go. Perfect. Take a look with a 5X loop just to make sure all is right with the world. And it most certainly is. Although, let me hit this positive lead one more time. There's not quite enough solder on the positive lead. Let's just add a little tiny bit. And that's it. Yeah, there we go. That's better. That's better. All right, cool. So we've swapped this over to a double pH 2.0. Now we're going to get it into the much stiffer frame, and we'll see if all is right with the world now. I'm going to put it into this frame with the frame in the right direction, something that challenges me. Right. So yeah, it's going to be going back in that direction. Let's get the rubber grommets on here. And get that routed where we want it. I could switch this over to EP 2.0, or ELRS rather. But I think I read somewhere that you have to have a little connector for this guy, which makes sense because there aren't pads. There's these 3 pads here. Hold on. Let me look on Newbie Drone's website super quick. Like, let's see here. Newbie Drone V3 Acro B. What's that? I know, right? I really need to put it back together. I'm the worst.
Oh, it's just a beautiful thing.
It's on the on deck. I mean, it's coming up. You know what's insane though?
Look at that! It's such a beautiful foot. I understand.
Now I
like
want to
all
put
that,
DJI in it.
With an all-in-one?
Isn't that frustrating? Yeah, right. Just.
Is that how that works?
I guess. All right, let's see.
You're gonna put it okay.
Where are those 3?
DJI.
Oh no! So those, yeah. So you do need a connector to put a.
You have one.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh,
I actually don't. Yeah, you need a. There's the RX and TX. Yeah, I don't love that. So that's something that I'm gonna need to do an order and buy that before I switch these V3s over to ELRS. Glad I looked that up. Okay, and so let's keep going. We'll leave this on FR Sky. Okay. Man, that connector, it's also going to send those wires to the outside. I hope there's going to be room for them. That's kind of wild.
Just saw your shirt here.
Yo, that was a crazy night. Jesus. My God, that was something else. I had a fucking blast though.
It's a good time.
Right?
It's a good time.
Did Monica have fun?
Oh yeah.
Nice. Patrick, Monica, his wife, Maggie, and I went to a comedy club in downtown Atlanta last Saturday, and boy, oh boy,
Girl, it was hilarious.
did it ever turn into a beautiful shit show.
Mm-hmm.
It was good though. Everybody survived. That's all that matters. Nobody died.
Gotta whoop it. Gotta fly that vortex.
Oh, can you imagine?
It's that little thing in and out. I mean, the little guy with the Insta.
This right here.
Yeah.
This would be perfect. Ugh. Get heckled.
On stage and all.
Right?
They'd let us. They'd let us. They're totally rogue.
They don't know what's going on. They wouldn't realize that we could kill
We
someone.
put you on a website. Not what I think. We put you on a website. You know, it's good for your Instagram account because every single one of them was like,
everybody.
check me on Instagram
Right.
at soandsosissy.com.
So-and-so sissy.
I don't know. There were some
What
crazy
is
ass
that?
names. Some crazy ass names on there, man. There was a lot of different little. But anyway.
All right, we're gonna hook this up first, and then we're gonna put the motors on. So we're gonna build from inside out, just like I don't know, just like us when we were all little fetuses.
We're still pussy.
The fucking shirt. I wore it on the stream the other day.
Did you really?
Maggie told me I wouldn't.
You
I was
did
like,
not.
oh really?
You won't.
I wore it for half an hour.
I didn't. Oh, wow. I didn't see that.
People.
I'll be sure to
It
go
was
find
it was the look. It was this. It was the hold on. It was gear
So pussy.
gear fund number 2. Dignity for sale, $200 an hour. I kept that fucker on for a half an hour.
Oh wow. Was it a little small for
Oh,
you?
it's
Wasn't it?
real small.
Real small.
Real small.
Yeah, show that.
That's why it was.
That bod.
That's why it was $200 an hour, not $100 an hour.
Did you tell everyone
It's
how
worth
my
it,
beautiful wife couldn't get us a table, but you walked in with your scarf
I didn't
and
want to
your
embarrass
Italian
anybody.
swagger? So excuse me, ma'am. Wouldn't happen to have a table right there, would you? Yes, sir, I would. For
Yeah,
you.
you know,
And what party? Oh, the party you rejected earlier.
man scarves.
The
people.
Indian woman over there. Yes, that one. Silver-tongued son of a bitch.
It was a real. It was a real night, man. We made a night of it. There were shenanigans. There was passive racism. There was reverse racism. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Drag
The
queen.
drag queens.
Not a party without a drag queen.
It's not an Atlanta party without a drag queen.
That's what I heard.
So I've been told. It was a good night. All right, there we go. We got that going. I'm actually really curious what's going to happen with these big long screws. They might not go all the way through this Cockroach 75 frame. We're going to check right now. Tomfoolery indeed. Metal Dirtskin says it was on for half an hour and you got about 100 so you priced it right. Yeah, exactly. It was absolutely perfect. The fallout of that was the hangover stream. Yeah. We went out on a Saturday night, and then that Sunday stream, I was just a broken mess. That was this most recent Sunday stream. So if you want to see me hungover, yeah, you can. It's available. Okay, so let's get these big old long screws in here. Hey, I did confirm that these big long screws are available on RDQ. If you go to RDQ and you search for Mobula screws, you can find these nice long Tiny Whoop canopy screws, which are really, really, really nice if you run these Goober canopies because they put a lot of stress on the posts that hold the little rubber grommets here. So yeah, these nice long screws are just amazing, and it looks like they're fine. It looks like it's punching right through the bottom of the post hole here. So that's great. I love that. Or maybe it's going in there sideways. Hold on, let me see. Is it? It is. So what's it? Where are you going, little buddy? Where are you going? You're going sideways in there, and then what happens when you're all sideways? Let's try this one on the other side. Let's try to just drive it straight through down. I was thinking that it would just punch right through the middle. Okay, so that one was fine. That one went the way that I wanted it to. Just crank it down a little bit more. Okay, so that one's good to go. This one, on the other hand, got all kinds of upset. So let me back it out, and then I'll straighten it here. And I'll try to hold it a little bit more straight while I'm sending it down through there. Because I would love to have the extra strength from this longer screw. Yeah, now it seems like it's a little bit happier. And yeah, I think I can see it peeking through in the bottom there. So I think we're good to go now with this second one. It's still not super tight. Let's give it a little bit more. Well, okay, it's tight now. It's tight now. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna be okay. We are gonna be okay. All right, and let's get this guy going into here. Come on. Just gotta get that, and there it is. Okay. All right, so here's the rear one. This is the one that typically breaks, is the one in the rear. That's what she said. And so, yeah, okay. It was just that one that was being kind of an idiot. These other two are totally fine. So we're good. This will be super strong with these big long screws. Yeah, this one on the side is just being a real jerk. It's wanting to go in there sideways, which just doesn't make any sense at all. I think I have a tiny little drill bit that I can maybe send down there to kind of punch through the spot where I need it to. Let's see if this is small enough. This is 1.05 mil. And oh God. No, I mean, it's roughly, nah, it's a little bit too big. It's gonna open that up to the point where, all right, so let me do this. I'm gonna send this up from the bottom, and that should actually fix it. Hold on, I gotta grab the drill.
Oh, never a good sign.
Never a good sign. Drills and files.
Getting a straight blade, too?
Things are never going well when these tools must come out. All right, so let's get this little tiny fella up in here. And, oh boy. Stay straight, you little dick. Yep, we're good. Okay, so it's on this side, so we're just gonna get it down the bottom there and just real gentle. Try to just moosh that up. Try to keep it straight. So on these Cockroach 75 frames, there's a little blocker. If you don't use these incredibly long screws, you won't have to worry about this, but there's a little blocker between the bottom of the post and the top. There we go. All right, so now we're good. So I either completely stripped that out or fixed it. Let's see which. Yeah, so the Cockroach 75 frame is set up so that you can run it as a pusher. So they put the little posts on the bottom as well as on the top, and there's a little divider in between them. It's going to be real hard to show you guys, but yeah, it's I guess you can kind of see it there, maybe. See how there's the post there? Yeah, so that's set up as a pusher, and then on the top there's the post as well, and there's just a little a flat piece of plastic in between the bottom post and the top post, and yeah, I just drilled through that so that this would go straight down through there, and it did. So we are good to go. Like I said, you guys really won't have to do that because you're just going to use the regular screws more than likely that the Acroby comes with, which are fine. All these other the other two tiny lifters that I have are on the regular screws. They're not on these long screws, and they're totally fine. I haven't had any issues. So maybe don't go with the long Mobula screws on this build. Or do, because 2 out of the 3 went in there totally fine without having to drill it out. And this one is seemingly completely fine. All right, so we're good to go. Bottom is on. Bottom is on. That's a strange thing to say out loud. Let's get some propellers on here, and we will see if this thing is happy or sad. I'm hoping for happy. Metal Dixon says, good tool to have for that is a pin vise, basically a drill bit holder for tiny bits you can use by hand. I think I got mine at Harbor Freight. My dad has one of those. I think what you're talking about is it's like a hand cranked drill. Is that it? Is that what you're referring to? The only problem is it was hard to hold it straight. Oh wait, no, you're talking about like a bench mounted thing. That would be cool. That would be really cool. A hand drill that's bench mounted to stay nice and solid. That's not the right wiha. Away we go. Let's get some screws in here. The most frustrating part of any. Why are these holes all blocked? What the hell's going on here? Is this carbon fiber brace like kind of directional? I'll be damned. It is. Wow, okay. I did not realize that. So this carbon fiber brace, you can put it on here wrong. I mean, it won't be on there wrong for long because you won't be able to get screws through the holes. So that's kind of an easy fix, but or easy to realize. But yeah, now we're good. Now the screws will go through the holes. Okay, the most frustrating part of any tiny whoop build coming at you. Let's see how long it takes me to get these effing motors screwed in here. Come on. Come on. Hey, I am getting good at it though, I will admit. Okay. Got that. There we go. Oh, motor is rotated off. There we go. Okay, great. And another one. All right, let's get these cranked down a little bit. And repeat it 3 more times. Okay, cool. Next up, yeah, that is props out. Okay, great. And who's building something in chat? What are you building? What's happening? Okay. Come on, stator base, rotate around. Be cool. There we go. Hey, there we go. Okay. Ow. Hey, there we go. Okay. That's good. And that's all lined up. Oh, god damn it. I forgot something. I forgot to put the little battery holders on this. I gotta take this motor off. Alright, so when you buy the Cockroach 75 canopy, it's going to come with a bunch of TPU, and I'm going to show you what to do with that TPU right now. I forgot. Right now there's no way to hold the batteries in, which is what the TPU that it comes with is good for. So let's get that going, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, that's all out of there. Let me, I should have a little packet of the TPU somewhere here, maybe in this case over here, hopefully. Yeah, there it is. So here's what it's going to look like. Little bag that looks like this. Slow Entropy says, do you like the Happy Model 1102 10,000 kV for 75 millimeters? Built one on V3 frame 2S and it's very smooth, powerful on quad blade gem fans. I did not have luck with the Happy Model 1102s. They were not balanced for me. So yeah, I was really excited about them, but the Beta FPV 1102s, they were better balanced, and those are what's on the main tiny lifter here. I've been pretty surprised at how well these 0802s do, but the 1102s are definitely better. So I don't know, maybe I just got a shitty set. Maybe they're all like that. I don't know. It's hard to tell. So we're going to get 4 of these things out. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have a ton because I've bought a bunch of these Cockroach 75 frames. So we're going to get 4 out. 2 for the top, 2 for the bottom. And then they come with these screws. So we're going to leave 4 of these screws out as well. Okay. All right. That's now good to go. So here's how it goes. These arrows point front and rear. So you're going to take, there is a little bit of a directionality to these. See how it's thicker on one side than the other? The USB cable plugs in right on top of these. So make sure that this directionality is correct here. You want this indentation to be towards the USB, which is towards the back. So you want it to sit like this with that indented side. You can do that on both sides. I actually reverse it on the other side. So I do them totally asymmetrical, I guess. But yeah, as long as you have the indentation facing inwards, you won't run into the issue that I did the first time I did it, which was that you could not plug in the USB plug. So it helps to just kind of get these screws started here. So these screws are going to go through TPU, through carbon, and then through TPU on the other side. So you might as well just kind of get these screws started by hand. FPV Trucker says, what about the T-Motor 0802 25,000s? They're okay. They have a 2-piece bell, though. So they're not good for bashing. For a tiny lifter, I don't know. You don't need that extra KV. 1S is not going to get the job done. So I don't know if they really make any sense on a tiny lifter. I tried the 0803. What is that noise?
Race cars?
Is it?
Yeah, show.
That? Is that race cars?
Yeah, that's.
Oh, I thought it was like
car.
I thought it was like a router or something.
No, it's an internal combustion engineering.
What does that sound like? Jesus. It's been a long time. Alright, so let's get this other one started in here. There we go, that's better. Sluncher says, makes sense. I don't have HD to tell if there's jello. Don't get it on the Antlight cam though. Never know with heavy model motors. Yeah, the Insta360s are really, really, really sensitive to jello. Okay, so again, this is how we want it. With the thing towards the back, the indentation going towards the front. So I'm going to put this one like this. All right? And then you're going to take another one of these little guys, and you're going to put it on the other side, and it's what the little screws thread into. So now you've got it set up to hold 2 1S batteries. So let's get that going in here. Once this is done, I'm going to show you guys. So on the other side, I'm going to put these little guys the opposite direction, and it'll hopefully make a lot more sense if it doesn't already. So just give me a second here. This guy through there. Like that. Get it started where it needs to be. And start cranking. Come on, get up in there. There we go. All right, so this is the one that's going to face rearwards because the indentation is giving a little bit of extra room for the USB plug. Now these other ones, I'm going to do the other way around. And so let's get it started here. What the hell car is that?
Man, it is sexy. It's British, whatever it is.
Is that little
1.8 million pounds.
Oh God, the Aston Martin Vulcan, or I think it's Vulcan, yeah. $11 billion.
Yeah, 1.8.
Jesus.
No toys. Windows don't roll down.
Right.
Half a steering wheel.
Right. All right. Here we go.
Hit 0 to 60 in 2.9. My Tesla's 3.
We'll show you.
60 grand or 1.8 mil. I don't know.
The sound of our people. All right. So I got these screws. Ramdanko says couldn't fit any batteries to those TPUs. That TPU. It does fit tight. What I do with the batteries is I flatten out the corner of the batteries on my desk, like, but I can show you guys in midair. So, like, I take the corner about. Make sure you get yourself a kill-all carbon phone case for this. It's good for this. You take the battery and you just roll the corners like this. Roll the corners like that, and then they'll fit through these little TPU things.
Yeah,
What do you think of that? All right, so we got one started. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to put it the other way around. There it is. Okay, so now this thing is going to go outwards, and away we go. Slow these guys down. This is fiddly for sure, but it's not that bad. You'll get it, and you only really have to do this once. You'll never need to do this again. Okay, there's one. Here comes the other. And get in there. Come on. Come on. Get in there. There it is. Okay. So, let me show you guys what I've been blabbing on about. So you see it's, wait. There we go. So you can see it's a little bit different on one side than the other. Man, is that hard to see. I guess you can kind of see it. I don't know. Once you have it, it'll make sense. On this side, it's on one side you want it to be indented a little bit so that it sits kind of flat. All right, let me do this. I'll do the manual focus. Auto focus macro. Okay, so this is the side that's going to be on top of the USB port. All right. See how it's kind of, ooh, that's better. There we go. See how it's indented? Sits nice and flat. And this is the other side. You could make them both. This is the indented side that goes on top of the USB port. And then this is the not. There you go. You can really see it there. See how it's not indented? Indented, not indented. I do this other side like this just so that it holds the battery a little bit more firm. But the safe thing to do would be to do both sides indented because then if you accidentally put this thing, the carbon fiber brace on backwards, you're not totally hosed. So now there's the USB port. Here's the indented side. We're going to put it there like that. And then you can see, I gotta refocus the camera, but you can see why that's important. See how close the USB port is to that? If I'd used the other side, the USB port would be blocked. You guys know what I mean. Cool? Hopefully. Hope that makes sense. What's up, Kevin Sumner? Paul McDonald says, have you ever tried the 8-blade HQ Cineprops? I have. They were a little bit less thrusty than the Gemfan 5 blades, and they were no quieter, which was surprising. I thought they were going to be significantly quieter. I didn't I didn't do like a scientific test or anything like that, but they weren't significantly quieter. The big problem with them, though, is that they're M5 mount only. And I run these rigs on much lighter T-mount motors. So, yeah, HQ needs to step their game up and get a T-mount and M5 nut solution, because there's a lot of really good T-mount motors, and there's not many M5 mount motors. Some of the best Cinewoop motors available, though, kebabs, are M5 mount, so that's really nice that those are, and those are the motors that I tested those props on for the brief time that I had to build on those motors. I ended up pulling them off because they just kind of made too much power. It was wild. I mean, these they're a little too heavy, and they just kind of made too much power. I'd motor limited them down to get them under control, and like on a freestyle rig, I'm cool with doing that, or on a rig that's got motors that are too high of a kV, I'm cool with doing that. But in this case, the motors, in my opinion, they were just too big, and when a motor is too big, it's also a little too heavy, and you're just dragging around extra weight for no reason. So yeah, I moved to
that's my problem.
I moved to a 2004 on the second rig. Look at that.
Where does it go?
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
That works.
Yeah, buddy.
Anywhere. I'm not picky at all.
Probably have a stenciled place for it.
Yeah, that's what the other GoPros over there.
That makes sense. Let me help it out. I could have swore I saw you grab it from this location last time.
I was probably charging it. Top left cube is the GoPro cube. Okay.
Wait
Let's
for
get
the
some more
sixes, you
motor
pesky
screws.
fives.
I know, right? Oh, dude, can you imagine if we got a session 6? Oh, come on, GoPro, give it to us.
You know what really trips me out to this day is that they still had USB-C. We're just still making the transition. And
Oh, wow, yeah, that's
Session
true.
5
That's
has
true.
the C. I think the 4 did too, didn't it? Maybe not.
I never had a 4.
Uh,
Oh, wait, no.
the Session 4 was still a
I did have a
decent
Session
camera.
4. For some reason, I thought you meant Hero 4. I think you're right.
I don't know, but I know the 5 is, and I'm like, dude, there are still things you can buy today that don't have USB-C. And we haven't had a Session 5 in like 3 decades.
Most flight controllers, Christ.
God.
That's funny. Yeah, man, yeah. It's been around for a long time. Tom Lawrence says, I like the HQ8 blades on my Cinesplorer. I find the pitch is lower even though it's just as loud as the 5 blade. Maybe I should have flown those a little bit more. Metadurskin says, if not the Terraplane, any other thing you'd consider for a 3.5-inch Cinewoop for bigger battery, longer flights with a big GoPro, is a pusher a bad idea? Yeah, pushers are kind of a bad idea. For efficiency, you're not going to like them. Having all that junk up in the low pressure zone is no good. Shit, I don't know. 3.5-inch. There's not much. There really aren't many 3.5-inch frames that exist at the moment. I mean, I guess what you'd be looking at is like getting a 4-inch frame and then just like bolting ducts onto it. But then, just like the Terraplane, the ducts aren't going to be very strong, which kind of defeats the purpose of having them there. It's a good question. Sure wish I had an answer for it. I don't know. I'm cool with the shorter flights because I get more than 5 minutes anyway, and that's where GoPro breaks the files up. So yeah, 5 minutes is a really good number for me, especially because they fly so much better when they're lighter. You know, I'm not sure, dude. I mean, you could just do a 5-inch rig, and actually, yeah, I think that might actually be the move, is to just build a 5-inch rig, and then get the stand ducts and run 4-inch props on it. That might be the jam. What's the Terraplane? Is that 4-inch? Is that 3.5-inch? What is that? I think it's bigger, right? Pretty sure it is. Ramdongo says, check out Quad Mover's most recent 8-second vid. Frank Nicholas is in the house. Ramdongo says, no, that's my problem. Kevin Sumner says, GepRC Cinelog CL35. Yeah, the Cinelog that Joshua did the review on actually came to me first, and Patrick and I tested it. We both flew it. It's interesting. It's not... I can't really imagine flying it as a Cinewoop. It's a little too fast, like, and apparently those prop guards are not all that durable. So yeah, I don't really know about that Cinelog 35, and it's a pusher, so it's gonna struggle with efficiency. What is nice is that it's a bigger prop. So the deal with pushers is. Pushers are going to be inherently less...
Good.
less efficient because what's going on up above the propeller is more important than what's going on down below the propeller. Up above the propeller, that's where all the work is getting done. That's where the plastic of the prop is pulling air down through. So you want as few obstructions above the prop as possible for that reason. All right. Here's the thing, though, with a pusher rig, sometimes you can fit a bigger propeller on there, and bigger propellers are more efficient. So the Cinelog 35, for example, it's not the same size. Like the Cinesplorer is smaller, but it does have a bigger propeller, so it makes back some of that lost efficiency from the pusher setup with the fact that it's got a 1/2 inch bigger propeller. My main problem with it, though, is that it's not safe, like, around people, in my opinion. The prop guards... If you're going to be flying around people, in my opinion, it needs to be ducted, not just guarded. The prop guards, to me, you can easily fit a finger in there, and yeah, that's not what you want to have happening. Or like somebody's skin. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the Cinelog. And like I said a minute ago, I've also heard that that frame, the plastic ducts, or guards rather, are not all that strong, which is, kind of the worst, because it's a big, huge piece of plastic, and like replacing it is, I'll bet, going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. Other than that, it's a great rig though, and it does fly really good for like faster stuff. So if you need like a faster rig that you can like bump into a car with, for example, the Cinelog is probably a great fit for that. But for flying around people, I just don't think it's all that. I just don't think it's quite safe enough. That's just me, though. You know, people fly 5-inch rigs in their apartment parking lots and down their public streets. So, you know, maybe I'm just a wuss in my old age, but I don't want to be that guy, you know? I don't want to be that guy that's on the news for hitting somebody in the face with a non-guarded rig and cutting, you know what I mean? Cutting a big gash in their head or something like that. And I suspect that most of you guys are of sort of the same mind in that respect. Alright, almost there with these motor plugs. There we go. Alright. Motors are plugged in. Let's see if the problems that we were having are gone. So I'm not going to change anything because I want this to be as head-to-head of a comparison as possible. I'm just going to take a couple of these Newbie Drone Nitro Nectar 250s. I'm going to do the thing that I showed you and just roll the edges so that they'll go through the TPU properly. And alright, so this lead is going to sit flat like that. And then it's going to plug in. Alright, so stripe upwards. Alright, so the first battery goes on the bottom like that. And there's a little bit of a notch, you got to push it up to get it over this part of the frame, but that's good because it keeps it from popping out. So that's going to plug in like that. And then the other one is going to go here on top. And we're just got to put the angle on the bottom of the battery again here. Okay. Right in there. And I don't really have a smoke stopper for these, so we're just going to go for it. There we go. Okay, so let's get goggles and transmitter powered up, and we'll see if Demenis says nobody wants to be that guy that cut a face. Yeah, it's true. I worry about some pilots not thinking that all the way through, though. Hey, look at this! I pimped out both transmitters a little bit more. Look at this. So this is going to be the replacement one.
Use some grip tape.
It's all black. I got some. I did some purple little jib jabs here and some black covers, except for arm. Arm is always red. So this thing is looking super fresh. And then I had a couple little red guys left over that I put onto this with some little jib jabs. Look at that. Looking sexy, eh? Look at me go. Okay, enough of that. Newbie Drone Whoop, that is the right model. Let's plug it in. Put it up in the air, and I'm not gonna put the monitor up or anything. You guys can just look at me leaning and pooping. Oh wait, hold on. I gotta get the Insta360 on here. Gotta load this thing down so that we get into the RPM range that we were having problems with on Monday night. All right, here we go. Let's get this in here. Insta360 Go turned on. That's okay. There we have it. All right, let's see if it's better. Oh, I don't know if the motors are going to spin the right direction. Oh, they are.
Lucky shit.
I know, right? It's looking a lot better. But once I get in the goggles, now's when we'll be able to tell. Let's see if that core temperature warning comes back. It flies way more stable, though. I think we're going to be totally fine. Just bringing it over here by the kitchen. And this is the exact same setup that I've had before on these rigs. So I'm, pretty confident that this is going to fix the problem. We've got no core temperature warning. We do have a low battery warning, though. Yeah, I mean, by this time it was giving me the
It's good.
Oh, there it is, though. 158. Nope, it's heating up again.
Yeah.
It flies better like this.
It's sweet, dude.
But we still have that core temperature warning. Let me get a fresh set of batteries on it, and we'll see if it gets up to 170 plus. That's where you got to really worry about it. And let's get these batteries out of here and put these ones on there. Yeah, as long as it stays below 170, I'm happy. But I want to make sure that it does. There are folks that just turn that warning off and just send it, as the cool kids say. Although the cool kids are probably not saying that by now, thank God. All right. More abuse. Let's see it. So the core temp warning is gone. Give it a second to come back. Hopefully not, but I'm pretty sure it will. Put the nose down a little bit to get it kind of doing a little bit extra work. What I can say is that the core temp warning is coming on a lot later, a lot slower. There it is. So 160, 162. Stay right there. Stay at 162. It's solid at 162. Which, like, I don't love it coming on at all, but if it's going to stay in the 160s, we're going to be fine. There's 163. Well, nope. It went to 165, but then it came right back down to 163. So I think we're good. We can we can do some things to try. Yeah, it'll hit 165, but then it comes right back down to 163. Whereas on that floppy frame, it was getting all the way up into the 170s, and it was happening really fast. I was not able to get anywhere near this much time up in the air on it. So I'm gonna call this fixed. The 1102 motors, the Beta FPV 1102s, they don't kick the core temperature warning on at all. What I assume is going on is this is an 0802, which has a little bit less cooling than the 1102s.
That shit looks sick.
Isn't it?
That shit is
And there's the end of those batteries. Yeah, it is planted. Yeah, so I'm going to call that fixed. Here's what I think is going on, boys and girls. Let me get you over to the bench cam. Let me get this unplugged. These are... So I'm going to show you all three tiny lifters. And I think it's going to make a lot of sense when I show you what's going on here. Let me just turn a couple things off real fast, though. I think this is all about the way that these motors are designed. This is really interesting, actually. I'm really happy right now. So, Beta FPV 1102s. I'm gonna even give you guys a little bit of macro action here to show you what kind of airflow is happening over these motors. All right, these are the Beta FPV 1102 motors. Look at how they're gonna cool themselves. Like look at the top of the bell. First of all, it's an 11. It's 11 millimeters wide versus 8 millimeters wide. So there just is gonna be more motor bell for cooling. All right. So these don't kick that warning on at all. Also, look at the bell design. Look how much air is gonna get down in there to cool the magnets down. Okay. So that's the 1102. Now, on this other one, I put the Happy model, Modula 7 0802s. But look at the bell design. See how the bell design is allowing plenty of airflow down through there into the motor? Right? So these are getting good cooling. Now look at the Newbie Drone 0802s. See how not as much air is getting down there? I'm also running a propeller on this rig at the moment that has more of a base to it. I bet you if I switch this over to this Azzy prop, it would have enough cooling to get down into the holes of the bell of the motor. So I think that's the issue. I think these Newbie Drone motors are just getting a little bit hot. And so now anybody that's really keeping score right now should be screaming at their phone screen or monitor, what the hell are you talking about, you idiot? The core temperature warning is the ESC, not the motors. Here's what you want to remember. The magnets in the motors are very sensitive to overheating. When the magnets in the motors start to overheat, they become much less effective, efficient, whatever. So as the motor overheats, and I can feel when this thing came down, I could feel that these motors were hotter than the 1102s typically get on the other tiny lifter. So as these newbie drone motors, which are not cooling down as well as the other two motors that I have on the other ones, that was the Insta360 Go too. As these motors heat up more than these other ones, that's going to cause the ESC to have to push harder, push more voltage, push more amps, work harder. And I think that's what's causing the problem. We're only getting, so the ESC core temperature warning starts at 158, I think. And then it's getting up to 162, 163. So it's just barely coming on, right? It's just barely kind of happening. And it's not happening on these two guys because they have a little bit more cooling of the motors. I don't have any data to back that up, but that's what's going on. Like, let's just be real. So, yeah, this thing at 162, 165 degrees, if you do this build on the cockroach frame, I would fly a bunch of batteries to make sure that the core temperature doesn't get up into the 170s. As long as it doesn't, you can just turn that off in the OSD. And you should be good to go. Can't guarantee it. Also, you can try running the ASI props, which have a slightly smaller hub. You know what? Let's actually do it. Let's put these ASI props on. These ASI props are also quieter, which I kind of like. I want these things to be as stealthy as possible so I can fly them in stores and malls and shit. Let's see if these ASI props will blow enough air into the cooling fins of these motors to keep that warning from coming on. Let me show you what I mean with that, just in case you're not following along. I know I'm kind of throwing a lot at you guys, but look at the difference. Think about what's going to happen cooling-wise, right? So you see how, like, none of the airflow is really going to make it into the little cooling vents. That's what the cooling vents look like in the motors, right? So with this propeller, not much airflow is going to get down in there. Look at the difference. Look at that. Oh, God. There it is. Look at that. That's going to blow air right down into those cooling vents. I bet you we're going to be okay. So let me put a couple more of these ASIs on. The only problem with these ASI props is they're very, very fragile. If I crash this rig with these ASI props on it, it's going to bend the propeller blades all up, and they're really hard to get bent back straight. So, you just got to keep extra props. If you go with these ASIs, just keep a whole bunch on hand. So that you can replace them after every crash. But, a rig like this is not a Thrasher rig. Like, if you crash this rig, it's going to be like, oh shit, and you're going to go get it, and you're going to, maybe switch a prop out, and away you go. We're not building freestyle rigs here. These are Cinewhoops. They're not bashers. You don't want to be crashing them anyway, because if you start crashing these tiny lifters, the motors and the props are going to get bent up, and then you're going to get jello. You actually really want to work hard to not crash these rigs, because you need them to just be super, super, super clean in order to have a shot at at jello-free footage from the Insta360 Go 2. Speaking of, putting it right back on, stopping it from recording. I'm going to use 300 mAh batteries this time. Little tiny bit heavier. It's it could make the situation better if it moves it to a harmonic that is less able to be filtered out. Technically, it could make the situation a little bit better, but kind of impossible to figure that out. I just don't have any more of those 250s charged. Plus, the runtime that I just got out of those 250s was pretty bad. So, I think for this setup, if you're going to do the double pH 2.0, get the 300 mAh batteries. All right. Let me also take a look at what these batteries are charged to in the OSD. Again, I'm not gonna set the monitor up because I'm just like inching it up and down the hallway. Oh, fuck it. It's fine. I'm just gonna leave the monitor back here. I'm not gonna refocus the camera or anything. There we go. Oh god, you can't see anything without it focused. Okay. Got me into it. Okay, so the battery is these batteries aren't fully charged. Battery is only charged to 4.15 volts. So that's why I had such a short runtime on those 250s. Come on. All right, so let's see what's going on here. Look at this guy acting like he owns the place. Look at him, foot all up and shit.
This is a Costco couch, bitch.
Ball. All right, so we're just gonna limp it around to give it as much time as possible for that core temp warning to come on. Although maybe it won't come on at all. Nope, there it is. So it comes on at 158. Let's see what happens. 160. Hell, if these props aren't as well balanced, it's actually going to be worse. So there's 162. $163. 165. And so that's where it stopped on the gem fans. Let's see what happens with these Azzies. Man, I thought these would be better. So they're not better, which could mean that... there's 167. That did not happen on the gem fans. So what that potentially means is that these Azzie props are not as well balanced, and they're sending more garbage into the gyro. Oh wait, no, I do have the heavier batteries. I bet you it's because I have the heavier batteries on. There's a hand trying to get us. Hey, look at that. It went right back down to 165. So, yeah, it looks like the Azzie props aren't any better. They are quieter, though, so I'm going to leave these props on. Yeah, 165. Hovering around 165. I wonder if I put the nose down if it'll get better or worse. Down to 163. Once you've got the nose down, it's going to move it into a different... back up to 167. Back down to 165. Yeah, keeps coming back down. And that's what I wanted to see. Good runtime, even though this battery wasn't charged all the way up. There's the end of the battery. Well, there you go. 2 minutes. Wow, 2 minutes 20. That ain't bad at all. 220 carrying around that big fat Insta360 Go 2. So there you have it, boys and girls. That's the Tiny Lifter. Scratch built with very little soldering. And, just buy yourself a Newbie Drone Acro B. Swap the frame, swap the props, and you got something good. If I would recommend, though, moving it up to the Beta FPV 1102s. I don't think you can buy the Happy Model 0802s. I really don't recommend 0802s. The Beta FPV 1102s have a 1.5 millimeter motor shaft, so the motors are going to be durable enough if you do crash the damn thing. And they're going to stay a lot cooler. So the problem's going to be you're going to have to either direct solder them to the AIO, or and I don't know if you can do this, but you might be able to buy, if they have a PCB. They look like they do have a PCB on the motor base. So technically, and again, don't quote me on this, but what you should be able to do is desolder the motor wires from these Beta FPV 1102s, desolder the motor wires from your Newbie Drone 0802s that you're going to get with your Acro BV3, and put these motor connector wires onto the Beta FPV 1102s. That's about the same amount of work as direct soldering these. The problem you're going to have with direct soldering these Beta FPV 1102s is that these motors will not fit through the holes in the frame. So you're going to have to bolt the motors down to the frame, and then you're going to have to solder the motors onto the AIO, like with everything in the frame. And then if you do blow a motor up, or if you break the frame, even worse is if you break the frame, you're going to have to desolder all 4 motors to get them out of this frame and into the new frame. I guess you could just chop this frame up once it broke, but then you won't be able to get them into the new frame. So realistically, with these Beta FPV 1102s, you want to get them onto the JST 1.0 Newbie Drone specific connector. I know that's a pain in the ass, but if it were easy, everybody would be doing it. So there you have it, friends. That's going to wrap this stream up. I'm going to end it a little bit early so Patrick and I can hang out. But yeah, there's the tiny lifter. I wish that it would run in that V3 Mobula 7 frame, but no. If I'd kept hovering it on Monday night, it would have eventually fallen out of the air, because the core temperature warning was up into the 170s and it just kept rising. And there's a point where that core temperature warning there's a point where the ESC will shut itself off so it doesn't cook itself. So yeah, these tiny lifters, it certainly appears, need to be in the Newbie Drone Cockroach 75 frame, which is fine because it's a great frame and it gives you an excuse to run your 1S batteries, which is really slick. You don't have to buy a whole bunch of specific batteries just for the tiny lifter. In terms of motor connectors, so these 2 tiny lifters I'm really happy with. They're on BT 2.0, but here's the problem. These little BT 2.0 double BT 2.0 connectors, I can't find these in stock anywhere. If somebody can find these Beta FPV double BT 2.0 leads in stock somewhere, please let me know. They're out of stock on Beta FPV's website, unfortunately. This is my preferred setup because the BT 2.0 connectors are nice and lightweight, not much resistance, and we've got a good selection of batteries. We've got the Tattoo 300 mAh BT 2.0 batteries. We've got the Weebleed FPVs, and there's a bunch of Beta FPV batteries, which are actually kind of okay. So this is the preferred setup. Technically, you could also go GNB27. I have not seen a double lead like this for GNB27. Down in the description, though, I did put a link to the Newbie Drone GNB27 2S batteries, and what you would need to do is just rubber band it to the bottom of this thing, and it would just sit up a little bit higher. Not the end of the world. Or you could go with, they do sell these double PH 2.0 connectors. These are all over the place. You can find these anywhere, and then you can run Newbie Drone Nitro Nectar Gold 250s and 300s. That's going to work totally fine. That's what this rig is going to run, and I'm gonna fly a bunch of batteries on this to make sure. I want to mess around with filtering and mess around with PIDs and see if I can get that core temperature warning to go away. Or you could go XT30, but don't do that. It's just a little too big, a little too heavy. So there you guys go. Chat looks pretty clear, so I don't think there's any other questions about the tiny lifter. Next time you see these rigs, I'm just going to be flying them or repairing them. So yeah, I've done as much sort of R&D on these little guys as I can. Now it's time to smash the shit out of them. Love you guys. I will see you guys again on Friday. I think I'll be at Studio 2, so we'll do some tiny whooping. Let me get a little bit of music for you, and I'll send you out of here with some flying from that wild spot. OBS, you gonna make me reset you? Let me see. Nah, it's working. Look at that. All right, cool. All right, boys, thanks for hanging out. Love every single one of you. Like, subscribe, all the YouTube-y things. CiottiFPV.com if you want to see these live streams continue. Be good. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. See you on Friday at 7. Later. Do I ever fly in this battery, or do I just sit on the ground for the entire time? Hey, there we go.